Alright, so we have the next battle. Shotaro's going in with Kagero going up against Gear Chronicle. This will be an interesting match as a result, mostly because Kagero, when done correctly, can get rid of everything Gear Chronicle wants on the field. And Gear Chronicle can do the same for Kagero, except, we'll just have to wait and see. Grade 2 is Neoflame, which means this is a Dragonic Overlord deck. And draw checks into the end. Still waiting to see the one person who uses a deck that uses every Dragonic Overlord ever made. Just because. Critical trigger early on, but a heal trigger negates it. Dragonic Overlord the X used and skill activated. A grade 3 is added into the hand and we have an attack. And from the attack, the X's skill could be used. And Shotaro chooses not to. If you hear a television in the background, then I do apologize for that, but now we see Chronojet Dragon in Stride. Stride goes into Epoch Maker and gonna give Draco Kid gets a grade 3 from the deck, calls it. 11k from the rear guard isn't guarded. And the Vanguard attack is perfect guard. Critical effect goes to Chronojet rear guard, so there's a possibility that Stand Trigger may be a part of this deck. Muhammad Stride and no guard. Which means Chronojet Dragon is going to die. Triple drive check versus draw trigger. Calamity Tower and perfect guard. Next drive we see Ragnarok. Shotaro can't guard this attack with grade 0s, but he did draw his Trek perfect guard, so he's using it immediately. Puts it back in the hand, thinking about whether or not he should use it. He really should use it. He checks if the skill is being used, which the counterblast was done so. It looks like he legitimately did forget to unflip a damage, so no harm, no foul. It was done in the end. She'll throw with more than enough drop zone to do a Legion. Legion's the X. Gets to the X. Double draw trigger. 10k shielded and not guarded for a critical trigger. Shotaro's giving himself the ability to have massive hand for defense, and if his field remains the same for the remainder of this fight, then he won't have to worry about attacking. Meanwhile, most of the stride skills that Can't come from Gear Chronicles would need a counterblast, so he is unable to do cards at Dragon's skill and still get them. Shotaro presses Q, which I'm only guessing is for the sake of checking the log. Another Ragnar clock appears. Which makes me wonder if Kaze is using 4 Ragnar clock to next age and 2 other random units, one of which being Epoch Maker that was used for the first stride. It seems that Kaze is using this turn to set up his field for next turn. Attacks with a grade 2, which is blocked easily. The grade 2 becomes a grade 1 in rest. Emphasis on in rest. Kaze is deciding his grade 1 choice. And decides to go with a Steam Fighter. So now if a unit goes into the bottom of the deck on the next turn, unless these two are killed, Kaze will get 2 unflips. And now we have 32,000 with 2 crits. Also keep in mind, Shotaro still cannot guard with grade 0. Shotaro no guards, not having a perfect card in hand. And no triggers appear. A critical trigger could have ended the match right there, but it did not happen. So now we stride into Dragonic Overlord the Ace. The Ace attacks. To be perfectly honest, he probably would have been better attacking just with the Vanguard, hope getting out a perfect guard, and if it was guarded, then he could discard and retire both of these units, so no unflips happen next turn. Chooses not to do that, however. 2 heal triggers out of 4 drive checks. And Kaze is able to guard all the rest. And now stride. I can only guess that this will be Chronojet next stage. Either that or we'll see what the final stride is. And it is in fact Chronojet next stage. Chrono Dragon next stage returns its card to the bottom. And now in the battle phase, it looks like Kaze is reading off his card to make sure he understands what it does. First attack is 26k to the Vanguard. And I would honestly say that's not the best way to guard. It is a 2 pass, so if he gives it all to the Vanguard, then... And he chooses not to. He gives it all to the Steam Fighter. No, he gives the critical to Ishin. That doesn't work because it only kills resting units. Okay, Shotaro and Kaze both don't realize that's how that unit works. And Shotaro essentially gets away with murder. So now 12,000 to the rear guard, which is not guarded. And we're going to see 16 to the Vanguard. And it seems Kaze just realized that that unit does not do what it said. Kaze discovers late that Shotaro almost got away with murder, but not so late that he can't still do what he wants. With GB2, only zeros can be used to guard, but he has enough for no pass anyway. And double critical. He was right to no pass. And he still has enough to guard for the rear. Soul Blast at the end, Returns at the end. There was the end and drop already, so... Drop the next ends and end. I'm talking to Natalie on Twitter now. I'm kidding. Returns the end and gets the end. 22,000 at the rear, not guarded, and no triggers. Restand gets 27 at the Vanguard, which is perfect guarded. And heal trigger does not heal. 16,000 goes to the rear. And finally 21 at the rear. Kaze deciding he's going to guard that unit to the grave. Only one strike left in Kaze's entire deck, deciding not to use it now. And it looks like he has a plan that involves going in. Returns a burnout to the bottom of the deck. 5,000 added to Mist Geyser. Ishin's ability not used. 9k attack to the other rear. And we might hear a loud dog barking. Chrono Jet's attack can't be guarded with grade 1 or higher. Zeros only. So 1 to pass, and it doesn't pass. And we get another ride. And we get more burnout. And it looks like I can talk at a normal pace again. We have Legion into the end. And we have an attack, 27 to the Vanguard. Kaze has run out of cards to guard with. I mean, not Kaze, but Kaze has run out of cards to guard with. So he one passes. No, he's two passing. Depending on what the last card in hand is, he probably doesn't have guard for the next attack. Either of them. Critical trigger. Shotaro should give that to the rear. He does, gives it all to rear the end. Gets a heal trigger. That should also go to the end. And that's the dog barking I was afraid of. 16k to Vanguard isn't guarded. And now we have 28 to Vanguard, which also cannot be guarded. So Shotaro takes it. 2-0 for Sanctuary Alliance so far. We'll be going into the third game, which could potentially be the last.